was a bomb. It was selling approximately 42,000 copies, Dave. That is far from gold. And I really think this is what really soured Sammy on Chickenfoot. Not so much the guys. Obviously, you had the Chad situation because Chad obviously was the only guy who was dedicated to a band at this time. Joe is a solo artist, Sammy's a solo artist, Mike follows whatever Sammy does. So it was Chad who really had the other responsibility of being in a big band like the Chili Peppers, so he couldn't fully commit. And then, of course, Kenny Aronoff came in, who was one of my all-time favorite drummers. He played with Mellencamp, John Fogerty, and Melissa Etheridge, some artists I really love, and he's an incredible hard hitter and just a fantastic player. He came in, not on the record, but on the tour. It was a killer tour. Do you remember when we saw this?
I do, and I'll tell you, he did a great job on drums on that tour.
Oh, yeah.
I liked him just as much, maybe even a little more than Chad, because he's more of like a traditional rock drummer.
Yes.
And, I mean, no offense against Chad. I mean, Chad is good and very capable. It's just a personal preference. But yeah, I do remember that tour because they were like jamming, like the songs were longer than they were on the album.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel jammy. Like you didn't sit there going, "Oh my God, when is this song going to end?"
Yeah.
But, it was a really good tour.
Excellent tour. We saw a fantastic show that time. Kenny Aronoff fit right in. Satriani, I want to say, is full of joy in this band. He is the heart and soul of Chickenfoot. Satriani is heartbroken over Chickenfoot not going. And in fact, in the interview I do with Satriani, which will follow this discussion, you will hear that in his voice. And he discusses that whole thing and how hard he tried to make this work. And I really think, Sammy, he's the businessman, when he didn't see the numbers and he couldn't do his catalog, I think he flew the coop. I think.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was looking at the chart history of this album today, and the album did chart on the Billboard album chart at number 9.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really, I think, Satriani is the MVP of this band. This album is, in my opinion, not really as good as the debut. We'll get into it, and we'll get into the weeds on the debut was produced by Andy Johns, who did Zeppelin. He also did Van Halen's For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. And this one is done by Mike Frazier, who is a producer of AC/DC, Bryan Adams, Aerosmith, and Joe Satriani. That's how he got involved, I guess. Mike Frazier was also involved in the first album. I think he did the mixing and stuff like that. But I'm sensing a little lack of bite on this album that the band had on its debut. The music is strong, for sure. It's all there. But I have to say, Dave, Hagar drops the ball lyrically, but mainly on the lack of strong choruses. Michael Anthony is totally underutilized vocally. Bass sounds fantastic. The strength of the musicianship is mainly Chad and Satch. And Mike has some strong bass moments, but let's get into this. So we're starting with the first song, which is Last Temptation. It's the album opener. Here's a clip. So this opens the album pretty strong. It's a very bluesy, very bombastic. The sound is massive, and you can clearly hear everyone in the band, which I really, really enjoy. You can hear
the mix on the album is good. Everyone's pretty clear on it. Yeah.
This is an album you want to listen to in headphones and really savor the sound, because there's some really rich sound here. Satch's solo is really hot on this one, and like I said, MVP of the band for sure. What do you think of Last Temptation?
Great opener. It just starts with a quick drums, and then the guitar chords go right into it. Joe does a mini solo, and they're off to the races.
Yeah.
Off to the races.
Absolutely.
So, good way to open the album, solid song. I mean, with that first song, they are setting the expectations for what you're going to hear for most of the rest of the album. They do take some detours here and there.
Yeah.
But you can already tell things are a little tighter than the debut album.
Well, that's for sure. They've gelled as a band, for sure. They've already recorded an album. They've gone on tour for the album. They're now recording a second album. These guys are a band. They're not just a quick album project. They are a band at this point, which is sort of a heartbreak. It really is, because they really were a good band.
They were. And this is the beginning. Like, things on this band just seem a little more polished than the first album.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to the second song, which is called All Right. Is this called
All Right, All Right?
Is it called All Right, All Right? This is what's funny about this is some places it's just listed as All Right. Like
is that right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the back of the CD and it says All Right, All Right.
Okay, so we'll certainly go with that. Now, Spotify is just calling it All Right. iTunes says All Right, All Right. Here's a clip of this one. This one is lighter and reeks of Sammy's lazy lyric writing. So now, here's the thing. The chorus is fucking horrible. Okay?
It's all right.
Very funny. But it's like the song is great. The structure is great. I even like the verses. Everything's building. And then he's like, all right. I mean, come on.
I know. There are too many all rights in the song, because by the end of the I hear exactly what you're saying, Dave. Because by the end of the song, I was saying, all right already.
Well, it's just, I mean, he's got to say all right like 6,000 times in this song.
I know. But other than that, I agree with you. Like, the rest of the song is pretty good.
Yeah.
Joe's solo, another excellent solo by Joe. And you're right, he's always the MVP, because no matter what's going on in the song, he rips out a solo, and you're like, ah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, listen, Satch is probably right under Eddie as one of my all-time favorite players. I mean, he is him and Vi too. But I mean, like, I can't say enough about Satriani's body of work. Anybody who listens to this podcast, if you do not listen to Joe Satriani's solo work, please do me a favor and take a look into it. I promise you, it is a fantastic catalog. Now, it's all instrumental. I mean, there's some songs with lyrics, a couple here and there on 2 albums or so. But trust me when I tell you, I think I go to Satch's catalog. It's probably right under the Van Halen and the Stones with me. I listen to it constantly. It's one of those types of music that it's always kind of playing in my headphones. I love Satch's, all of it. All of it is good, and it's one of the most solid catalogs and consistent. I can say that definitely more than Vi. Not that Vi's is bad. He can get into some weird territory, but Joe is really, really good. Now, like I said, this song, the musical bed has potential, and just Sammy gets cringy, man. And let me tell you something. I'm going to say he makes some worse lyrical crimes on this album than Amsterdam. Okay, this is what we're talking about, folks.
That's funny. Interestingly, this song actually has a band writing credit. The whole band gets credited for the song.
I know.
As opposed to just most of the rest of the album is Sam and Joe.
Yeah, well, I have to say, this song in particular seems like there's a tug of war going on here. You got Chad and Joe are delivering a core rock song with Mike kind of rapping that all together with the bass. and Sam is pushing for a poppier tune. It's a little weird. Listen to it. There's like a contrast going on there. The background vocals here, it says that Mike is doing them, but it doesn't sound like Mike. It seems like they were either put through a filter or something like that. I don't know. It's a little strange. I also think that this song is put way too high in the track order. I would have moved up something like Bigfoot in this spot. This is way too much a spotlight for a song of this lesser caliber. You know what I'm saying?
It is a little more poppier, but that's the album as a whole. It doesn't quite rock as hard as the first album, which isn't a negative on the album at all, because Sam's lyrical crimes aside, the song itself, I mean, isn't that bad. You've got like the 1-2 punch of Last Temptation and All Right, All Right.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that I'm tired of hearing All Right, All Right lyrically by the end of the song. Like musically, the album is still pretty strong.
Oh, yeah, no, without question, I'm not doubting that. Speaking of poppier, okay, we get to the third song, Different Devil. Now, here's a clip.
We all know somebody gonna tell you just what to do, but it don't mean nothing unless it's got something for me and you. Walk away if you think there's someone better. Yeah, run away to the arms of something new. You can stay if you think he'll treat you better than I do. Turn around, babe. I'll be right there waiting for you.
Now, this song sounds like a Sammy Hagar solo song. It is totally that vibe. It's got that big melodic chorus that builds and builds, but the payoff isn't that strong. The whole walk away. I mean, it's okay. I like this song. I actually do. This was the second single off the album. Satch's solo is nice, but it's a little too short. It's hard to believe that this song is Chickenfoot because it doesn't sound like the band. It's very light. It's clear they were going for a hit with this one. What do you think?
Oh, no, I agree. This is a strong example of why I feel the album is lighter and poppier than the first one.
Yeah.
And you can tell why they picked this one for a single. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
Up next is Up Next. Number 4 is Up Next, and here's a clip.
I'll bow down and kiss the ring. I show respect the best I can. I'll be myself, gotta show the man just exactly who I am. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm in the sun. I might be the one. Maybe I'm in the front of the line. Up next.
Now, this one gets down to business as the album starts getting back on track, and Satch delivers these swirling riffs up front. The guitar on this is phenomenal. Again, I feel Sam needs a little bit of a better chorus, but I do like this song a lot. This is one of my favorites off the album. The verses are fine, but the chorus is not dynamic enough. He needs to match the fire of Satch's guitar. And about like 2:40 in, Satch goes into this cool dimension here for like 30 seconds, which is just such a treat. And the song is musically thunderous, but Hagar is not delivering the punch it needs, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, there's not really a chorus on this song. You're right.
Very strange.
All I hear is like, Up Next. Like, I feel like I should be marching.
I know.
While I listen to this song. It does rock a little harder, but I don't know. Like, they're still marching forward. They still have a good groove, but I don't know. Like, to me, it's almost like they're starting to get into samey territory.
Yeah.
I mean, the songs are a little different to keep you interested.
Yeah.
But there's still like this basic vibe going on, and It's good, it's solid, and some songs are better than others, but there's not like a big home run, like classic song yet from the album.
Very true. Very true.